Yo, what is up, everybody? Apex Boom. Welcome back to another live cop overview, this time for the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Ash Blue and the Air Jordan Retro 4 Taupe Haze that dropped on Shopify and Foot Sites as well. Now, starting right off, let me go ahead and say this. Both of these drops were both a headache. One, because of Foot Sites. Two, because it was just low stock in general. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, here we have the 7 a.m. release, which is basically Foot Sites that dropped for Yeezys. So as you guys can obviously tell by the screen, I went with WhatBot because WhatBot is a phenomenal bot. And you guys have known I've used WhatBot in the past, but I've always struggled with it due to user error. The bot has always been phenomenal. It's just always been me that struggled with it. Thanks to you guys' tips and tricks, I had a better understanding of how to use WhatBot. Granted, it's not the hardest bot to use in the world, but even without a little understanding in how the bot works the best way, you won't be able to execute well and be able to have the best chances of copying. So, as you guys can tell, I put WhatBot on a server, and I think I ran about 1,000 to 1,200 tasks max. And for all of the tasks, I had skip capture enabled, which is a mode where basically you do not have to solve any capture on Foot Sites with WhatBot. Granted, the only thing is you have to keep in mind is if you're running resis, first off, you need a lot of resis, a lot of resis, because if you do not have a lot of resis, you're going to get a lot of your proxies banned. Secondly, it's even in itself, the mode takes up a lot of data, so you have to keep those two things in mind, especially if you're running a lot of tasks. So I let that do its thing, started my task. And of course, nothing was going on for the first few minutes, which is to be expected. I don't ever really expect anything to happen for the most part with Foot Sites in terms of a product dropping. So as soon as it hit 7:05, I got my first checkout, and it was a GS size, and I was like, okay, cool. That's what I love to see. Then literally 2 minutes later, I got another checkout. I believe it was another GS size. Then I think 2 minutes later, I got another checkout, then another checkout, then another checkout. Then after that, things just stopped. And I started getting bombarded with a bunch of privacy notifications. Some of my cards started getting declined due to the information being inputted wrong and all that stuff. I tried to see which profiles that were actually a little messed up so I could try to fix them. But by that time, I believe I copped 5. And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to try to hang on to those 5. Granted, I wasn't able to. 2 got PV, so 3 survived. So I was just cool with that. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to fix my profiles and go to the Yeezy drop. Update. Yeezy drop, didn't hit anything, flop for me. So nothing happened there. So my last hope was 10 a.m. Foot Sites for the Jordan 4 Taupe Haze. But this drop right here, WhatBot did phenomenal. I was very pleased. I was so happy to finally be able to use and actually hit, especially on a limited, hard, difficult drop like this. I was very pleased with how WhatBot performed. And for anyone who's asking, a lot of my tasks that hit were all resis. I didn't run no ISPs with WhatBot on the server, but yeah, shout out to WhatBot for that. I was very pleased. Granted, I should have maybe ran more cards, I guess, so I would get less PVs or maybe diversify my profiles a little bit more. But hey, it's one step in the right direction of finally being able to hit with WhatBot. So thank you guys for that. For the people who did give me tips and tricks, like I said before. Let's go on to the 10 a.m. drops. So for the 10 a.m. drops, I used BacoBot, WhatBot, and Prism. And let me say right now, this was one of the biggest headaches of a drop I've had in a long time. Granted, I know a lot of you guys said last week that there were some real headaches experienced doing the Jordan 1 drops. But unfortunately, I couldn't go for those because my internet was out for literally 4 days. So if you guys wonder why there was no videos last week, that's the reason why. But we're not here about that. We're not here to talk about that. So anyways, oh my gosh, you guys, this drop started off terrible, man. I mean, things weren't going my way at all. First off, I got locked out of my server. I won't say locked. No. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I didn't get locked out of my server. First off, I wasn't able to go back to my server because I turned it off for the time being. And once they hit around around say 9:35, I tried to start it back up again, but it said that there was insufficient resources. So I'm like, oh crap, it must be getting bombarded with a lot of people opening up Amazon servers right now. So there was really nothing I could do about that. So my original plan was, like I did last time, I was gonna run Prism locally, This time it's going to be switched though. Instead of running WhatBot locally, I was going to run Prism locally and run WhatBot on the server like I did before because of how well it performed on the Jordan drop. Granted, I was very disappointed because even when the drop went live, I wasn't even able to get WhatBot up and running initially at 10 a.m. because of the problems I was having with my server. So I literally had to go and reset my key, put it on locally, and I couldn't even, literally guys, I had nothing set up on WhatBot locally. Luckily for me, thankfully, I already had Prism already set up because I was going to plan to use that to go locally anyway. So I just used Prism and let that run. And as you guys know, this drop right here is terrible starting off. Oh my goodness. Just long perma queues. Oh my gosh. It was excruciating pain. I can't even describe it. It was terrible. It was just terrible. So after about 2 hours just staring at my screen just about, I started getting some notifications from my cook groups and things of that nature that checkouts are starting to roll in a lot more frequently. So I was still running WhatBot and Prism, and I noticed I got a privacy notification and it says I got a checkout from Foot Locker. But the thing that threw me off is that it didn't log in the bot. Granted, I was running a crap ton of tasks with WhatBot, and I was running 70 tasks at the time with Prism because I was only running ISPs. So technically it would make sense that WhatBot would check out because I was running like legit like over 1,000 tasks on WhatBot and only running 70 tasks on Prism. So I'm just gonna assume and take a shot in the dark and say that it was WhatBot that checked out, and it just didn't log the checkout. I was fairly surprised, and I was very satisfied. I'll even put I'll put my email right here that I got for checking out. Granted, I would love to have seen a success, but hey, it's whatever. As long as I checked out, that is the biggest thing, and I was very pleased. Throughout this entire drop, WhatBot held it down for me, and I was very happy because this is my first time giving WhatBot an actual go and really trying my best with it. You guys already know I've had Prism for a while. I understand Prism. I'm not gonna say I'm the best at it. I'm not gonna say I know it like the back of my hand, but I definitely have Prism down. I understand it a lot more. But this time I wanted to let WhatBot take control and be the main one in charge just to see what can happen. And it's good to know I can finally use the bot well, but it's about time. So yeah, you guys, how did you guys do on these headache of a drops? The worst drops I have experienced thus far for this year in 2021. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse than this, but I strongly doubt it. So I hope a lot of you guys cop, and if you didn't, where do you think you can improve your setup so you can increase your chance of copying next week? Because as you guys know, it's going to be another movie next week. So in total, about 6 pairs were copped, 5 Yeezys and 1 Jordan top. 2 of my Yeezy checkouts were PV. That left me with 4 checkouts in total. So how did you guys do for this drop? Yeah, you guys, I hope you guys had success. If not, don't worry, there's plenty more money to be made, and there's plenty more drops this year. So thank you guys for watching. As always, please be sure to stay safe. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all that, only if you want to. And thank you guys. Whenever you're watching this, have a good night, day, evening, and I will see you guys next time very soon. Deuces, because the content is going to start coming out a lot more consecutively and frequently because I'm done taking these long, extended